Hi everyone. This is just for folks who are not able to attend our kind of like Letters 101 session. So I'm going to do my very best to keep it super brief, like we did in real time. And so feel free to find me in person or just follow up me via email about any questions you might have. So here we go. So the first thing I wanted to do was just explain some differences structurally between last year and this year. So last year there were lots of different cohorts. So there was an ECESL cohort, there was a coaching cohort, there's an admin cohort, a homeroom teacher cohort, and all of those like cohorts had separate dates that they would receive synchronous training. That is not going to be the case for you all. If you are a volume one person, which means this year you're taking units 1 through 4, no matter what like your field of professionalism is, you will all be taking your letters synchronous sessions on the same date. So don't let a colleague accidentally confuse you about that because that is different than their experience. So just generally what to expect. So there's a couple different things that happen. One, there's online work, which I'll actually open that up in a minute for you to see. And two, there's reading that goes along with each session. And then there's a bridge to practice, which is essentially just like they're like print offs basically of small group work you could do. And they're technically supposed to get done. But letters does not check that. It literally is a checklist. Yes, I done it. And I think there's probably more organic ways to do some of the things that you're learning. So don't overly stress about having to do what's in the bridge to practice. No one's holding you accountable for that. And the last is the face to face or the synchronous sessions. So I'm a visual person. So I'm going to show you what some of this will look like. So this is the website. And actually, while we're at it, I am going to show you a couple ways to log in. So the first way to log in is just through NCI Cloud. Excuse me. Um, where it says, where is it? Oh, here we go. Where it says letters. I will tell you, I have never been able to access this, and I've emailed several people about it, and always get this sort of invalidation email, and it's just like not been worth it to me, because I can go to the actual letters website, which you see here, letters.com, and do the same stuff without a problem. So this is what it looks like, and you'll kind of notice. So like this was all of Unit 1, um, but like when I think about, there is one sort of on here somewhere. Where is it? Okay, there we go. So when you think about like how much time it's going to take you here to get stuff done, it actually projects times for you. So I'm just totally going to use this as a random example, but Unit 6, Session 1, they're projecting, they're projecting to be about an hour and some change. Usually I tend to finish faster than what they've given me. So just be mindful of that. Um, let's see here. I'll show you what one of those sessions looks like. It's a very intuitive site. You literally click and hit next. And a lot of it is actually just videos, but they're all probably less than a minute. I mean, they're very, very short. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's see. Back turn up. So what I just showed you was the online piece. And in a calendar that I have created for you, which I'll show you in a little bit, you're never going to be expected to do more than 2 sessions in a week. And for a good chunk of the year, it's free. so sorry. Oh my goodness. You will only have one session a week. So yeah, again, that's the online. The reading is the letters book, and it'll tell you on the side tabs, and I'll show that to you if I can find you. Unit one, and then on the side it'll say session one, session two, session three, whatever. There are little quizzes that go along with the online work. You do not have to have read in order to be successful on those quizzes. Um, and so I think some people initially stress out about that. The reading is really to reinforce what you've learned. If, because we all know that there's different types of learners, and it's just really a reinforcing piece. I've always found that the video covers basically the quiz covers what's in the videos. So there's that. Again, I told you about the bridge practice is really like literally it's a checkbox and you check it. But I would ask that you find ways that work for you, and real ways that work for you based on what you learned that week in your session. And then the face-to-face one is a full day. So the 25th, for example, that first day, that is a full day's worth of training. That covers the entirety of Unit 1. And then you'll have 3 more sessions that are face to face, and each one will cover an entire unit, not just a couple of sessions. So there's that. You look to the dashboard. So some things to be mindful of as you're doing the online work. So every session will have a quiz. I'll show that to you really quick. So notice here where it says check for understanding. This will be the initial part of your quiz. And you get 2 opportunities to take it. And I think it's like an 80 or above that would be considered passing. I am on team teacher. So what I want to tell you is um, if you were to, I don't know, Google some questions very closely related to the ones you got, Google might have some answers. Um, and I always say that just because I know weekends are hard and your time is limited. And I feel like if you're approaching the work honestly, you'll get a lot from it either way. So, but you get 2 chances. Many of the questions have multiple answer choices, so be mindful of that. The other is there is this like response journal thing that you notice up here. It's very obvious when you're getting a journal question in the different parts of the session. It'll literally say journal, and you might write a sentence or two. It's nothing serious. Just make sure you hit the save button at the bottom. Okay, what else? Some action steps. So probably the primary one here is getting you set up, like into your account. And typically what that looks like is you will hit right here where it says complete account setup. Now the issue is the district kind of has to prompt you into LETRS or to do some work with LETRS to get you prompted so that when you do this, and everything else once you do this is very intuitive, you basically just put in your email and it sends you a password kind of thing, a temporary password. Um, but none of that happens without the district prompting you, which they haven't yet. We checked last week. I've sent several emails to different people, and so I'm still waiting to hear back. And as soon as I do, you will. So that's the first order of business, is just being able to get you in. But the second is once you actually get in, there is an initial test that's basically like this pretty large, broad like pre-assessment of units 1 through 4, and it basically just wants to know what you know. There are 45 questions, and it takes about 45 minutes. It's probably like it's without question the longest quiz slash test you'll have while you're doing it. All the other session quizzes are like 10 questions. They take no time at all. But this one does take a chunk of time. So do kind of know that that initial pre-test is a little lengthy. We talked about that. We talked about that. Um, so this is probably the last piece of pertinent information, which is this is a calendar that I have created. My folks from last year have one too, but theirs is different, obviously, because they're on different dates and times. But yours is hyperlinked here. It says letters pacing. And this is how that kind of works. So notice here, um, you have like a week. So like this is October 2nd. And this is the work you're expected to get done that week. Unit 1, sessions 1 and 2 only. And kind of the projected time for all that reading and online work. And all of this kind of works backwards from your synchronous state. So, for example, you aren't expected to have anything done by the 25th. You're going in you're going in with nothing. Everything after the 25th is basically you learning um, what you got on the 25th. The only time you're not doing kind of that backwards approach is Unit 4, just because there's a huge chunk of time. So you'll be able to get work done in front of it. There's something else I want to tell you about that. Oh, somebody asked me the other day, Rachel, do I need to have any reading or session work done by the 25th? Like, what does that look like? And no, you don't. All you need is you. And they send you a packet. So the way it works is a couple days before your time, I will send you an email with a registration link. You have to fill out the registration link, and right after you do, LETRS prompts you a Zoom link for their session. So that's kind of how that looks. But the actual day of, all you need to do is print this participant packet that goes along with my registration email to you, and that'll all be very clear. But nothing else is expected. Something else to be mindful on those synchronous days too. The district sends two attendance links, one at the beginning and one at the end, and LETRS also does that, one at the beginning and one at the end. Do them both if you can, but prioritize the LETRS one because if anything goes off with the district, who knows? But the LETRS, the company itself is very good about going, oh yeah, you were there. Let me get your attendance certificate printed because I've had that happen with several people and it's never been a big deal just to contact customer service. This is not a mandatory calendar, by the way. It's meant for anybody who finds it helpful. And oh, if you miss a synchronous session, please try not to because it's kind of a hassle. But there are makeup options throughout the year that will be sent via the district and that will come through me. Um, but the only thing about those sessions is the makeup sessions are through the state. And so some of them are not on preferred times. They're weekend dates or evening dates. So just be mindful of that. I think that's all.